again, and today is Wednesday, April the 3rd. It is about 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're having a bright, sunny day here in Pennsylvania. A little chilly, but it's bright and sunny and looks like it's going to be a totally wonderful day. If you have just found my channel and you're new here, welcome. I hope you find things that you enjoy and will want to come back and visit again. And for those of you that are returning, thank you so much for returning and sticking by me with all of this. It's been fun. It is fun. And I do enjoy doing these videos. And okay, guys, you all get to see my face this time because I usually don't sit and be on camera. But today I thought, well, we're not going to stitch. I really didn't have a whole lot to talk about. So this will probably be a rather short video today, but that's okay. I just wanted to get one up there because I know a lot of you have said to me, and I so appreciate that, to keep posting videos. For those of you that don't know and are new here, I did talk last time in my video about starting a Facebook group. And there was some interest in that, so I thought, okay, let's go ahead and do that. If there's a lot of interest, fine. If there's not, that's okay too. But it would be a place for people to share their stitching, post their progress, talk to each other and get more opinions than just mine, because as I've said before, I am not an expert. Absolutely not. Do I have a lot of knowledge? No, probably. People have told me that. I don't necessarily feel that way, but I do have tips and tricks that I can teach you, and hopefully that will help us all. But my way is not the only way, and there are people, many of you who have other ideas and other ways of doing things, and that is my purpose of starting this group, is for everyone to share how they do things, because what you do may eventually turn out that it helps somebody else. How I stitch on the diagonal is one way to stitch on the diagonal. I know Blitz Stitch, Brian does his a little bit differently. I stitch in horizontal rows. He stitches in vertical rows. There are some of you out there who stitch on the diagonal, but you fill in each color as you go and you don't necessarily park. There's no wrong way. Whatever your way is the right way. So if you haven't found the group, I encourage you to look for it. I called it For the Love of Diagonal Stitching. We're up to 323 members already, and I only started it maybe 2 weeks ago. So that to me in itself is totally amazing. I never dreamed that there would be that much interest in a Facebook group on diagonal stitching, but I am so glad that there is. And so far it's been a lot of fun, and like I said, I encourage you to check it out and join if you're interested, and share your ideas and share your progress, and let's get to know each other and have some fun. Speaking of having fun, I did a little FUBA this week that happened to fall at the right time of the week. Oh my goodness. We did not do our normal thing this weekend. We went with my daughter and my grandchildren to the Fulton Theater in Lancaster, and they always have, well, they have a certain number of times a year a matinee for children. So we took the kids and we went to see Pinocchio. Well, we did that on a Saturday, which was fine, and it was fantastic, and it was a lot of fun, and the kids loved it. However, when I normally visit with my daughter and my grandchildren and my son-in-law, it's usually on a Sunday. So that, being retired, every little disruption in your routine kind of confused me for the rest of the week. And on Monday, I had it in my head all day that it was Wednesday. I don't know why. I just thought, oh, it's Wednesday. So how about in the group we do a Wednesday share your progress day? Well, it wasn't Wednesday. It was Monday. What was I thinking? So fortunately, my senior moment, I could write off as, haha, April Fools. So my FUBA actually worked out kind of nicely, and used it as an April Fool's joke when really it was Karen's senior moment because she was just confused. So today I know that it truly is Wednesday, April the 3rd. Oh, silly me, silly me. The things retirement does to you, it is a riot. I love it. Do I miss what I did? I don't miss the job per se. I miss the people. I miss my residents that I worked with. For those of you that don't know, when I worked, I was an assistant director of nursing in a long-term care facility. And yes, I miss people. I miss people that I worked with. I miss residents that I took care of, but I do not, by any means, miss the job. I was ready to leave. It was time to be done. But anyway, you're here for stitching, and you're not here to hear all about that. So what I thought I'd share with you today is, since when we do stitch-alongs, you only get to see a little bitty portion of the piece that I'm working on, which is Stitcher's Retreat. So I thought I would share the whole thing with you today. Now, hopefully I can get it all on camera, because let me tell you, this is a big piece. I started it, let's see, it's 2019 now. 2018 I did the kids stocking. So okay, I started it probably the December of 2016. And I worked on it for a year. So that would have been until about December of 2017. And then I put it away for an entire year, or the best part of an entire year. And that's when I made the stockings for my grandchildren, which they totally loved, and they were a super big hit. And hopefully they will have them forever and ever, and be able someday to say, my grandma made these, or my Nana made these for me. So then I picked up Stitcher's Retreat again in November of 2018, and I've been working on it ever since. And to be honest, I probably have another 2 years until it's going to be finished. And I work on it like every day. Every now and again, I'll take a day and do something else, but mostly I work on it every day. So here is, let's see if I can get back far enough, the whole thing. Okay, now what you see is I'm trying, well, first of all, I wanted to get down here to do this lady, because I am just dying to see the people come to life. But oh my God, look at that chair. Can you believe it? I cannot believe how realistic that chair looks. But the other reason I'm down here as opposed to up here is I want to start completing my diagonals for the entire length of the piece. So I'm going to work across here until it matches up with this diagonal, and then I'm going to work my diagonals the whole length, the whole way down. So eventually it will be from this corner all the way down to this edge. So that's my plan for this. That's going to take me a while to get over to where the diagonals meet, but hopefully with any amount of luck, it won't take too long. And if I can stitch as much as I did yesterday I started up about here on this chair, and I completed this whole diagonal to the tune of, so I started probably about here and worked the whole rest of this diagonal. So that came out to, I'm going to say close to 560 stitches just yesterday. Now, if I could do that every day, it would not take me near as long to finish this as what I anticipate that it's going to take. So that's Stitcher's Retreat. And that's where we are on that. And you get to see the whole thing instead of just a little itty bitty piece of it. Because that's what you get to see when we're doing a stitch with me. And I will do another stitch with me really, really soon. Let's see, today's Wednesday. Possibly later this week. If not, it'll be the beginning of next week. All depends, because I am going to a stitching day over in Lancaster on Saturday, and I will actually meet up with a few of you, or I know for sure at least one of you will be there who watches my videos. And if there's anybody else that's going to be there, please introduce yourself, because I would love, love, love to meet you and to get to talk to you get to talk to a lot of you in person, if that's possible. So it's just a day. It's the Northeast Stitchers group. Let me just double check the name of the group that's getting together. Northeast Stitchy Meetups is the name of the group. And we're meeting at Old Hickory in Lancaster. So it's a little, I don't know that you call it a shopping center, but there's a couple little shops there. There's a restaurant there, and across the street there's a barn, and we're actually meeting in the barn. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. My friend Barb, who is the other administrator in the group, will be there, as well as some people that I stitch with when I go on my spring retreat to Ocean City, Maryland at Salty Yarns, and that's coming up the beginning of May, and I am so looking forward to that, because that stitching retreat is actually a Friday evening, Saturday, and then most people go home Sunday. Well, Barb and our friend Gay and myself, and this year Sherry Berkman will be joining us. 3 of us will be going down Thursday and meeting up with some people that we normally meet with there every year. So we will be arriving on Thursday, and then we will be leaving to come home on Tuesday morning. So even though the retreat itself is only Friday, Saturday, and however long you want to stay on Sunday, we extend it and make a mini vacation out of it and spend a little bit more time. And we stitch together the whole time, and we get to meet and spend time with other people that we have met there. And it's always a fun time. And so looking forward to it. It'll be here before you know it, but I'm really looking forward to it. So what else have I been doing this week? Well, probably a lot of you know of Bags Plus. Michelle Bendy Stitchy is one of their salespeople here, or one of the salespeople here in the United States, and she's usually doing a I think she does it on YouTube, a live sale, and sells them. Well, I decided I was going to try and make one myself. And that's what I was doing earlier this week. So that's what I did. So here is my outside. It's some really cute fabric that has stamps on it. And then here is my inside. Now I did put stickers on my pockets because this is a 90 pocket one, and it holds my heaven and earth. And don't look at my terrible sewing there in the middle. I am not by any means an expert sewer. No, not happening. But I can sew good enough to put something like this together. And I really do like it because I have cats, which I have to lock out of this room when I do a video because they would be up in your face the whole time and wanting attention and laying on stuff that they shouldn't be laying on. But I love them dearly, and I would never want to be without them. So I had to lock them out of the room. But it keeps my kitties from wanting to play with my thread because I went back to bobbins. I put it in the pockets. This can lay on my lap while I'm stitching. When I'm in my living room stitching and I'm using my Lowry stand, this can lay on my lap, and I can easily find the colors I want, take the thread I need, put the bobbin back. It works terrific. However, there are some things I would do differently. As you can tell, the rows I stacked, that one's empty, I've got to fill it. I stacked them pretty close together. I would not do that if I make this again. I would just butt the top of the one pocket against the bottom stitching of the pocket above it, because it gets too crowded when you have full bobbins. And then if you push them down into I made a 2-inch pocket, okay? So if you push them down in like that, okay, and you have a full one on top and below, it's hard to get your fingers in here to get it out. Now the top row isn't bad, but when you get down into these lower rows, it gets a little hard to get them in and out. So I would not do that if I made it again, okay? The other thing I would do, as you can see, I turned under like, I don't know, about 1/4 of an inch on the top of the vinyl and stitched a little hem there kind of thing so that you don't have a raw edge. What I would do the next time is make some bias binding, just a thin, very thin strip of bias binding, and sew that onto the top instead of turning that hem under. Working with vinyl and turning that under, and then I use you can't pin it or you'd let holes in it. So I use those little clippy things that quilters use, or instead of pins, and that works fine, but it's a bit fiddly trying to do that little hem across the top. And by doing those two different things, I think I would like it much better, because your bobbins would be easier to get in and out. It would, however, make it a bit taller. This is about 10.5 inches tall. So if I did 9 rows of 5 on each side, like I did here, 18, 19, it would be close to 19 inches tall. It would almost double the height. So I really have to decide, do I want to do that, or yeah, I have to decide how I want to do that. I don't mind it being bigger, I just don't want it too much bigger. So that's going to take a little bit of planning on how I would lay out the pockets. So I plan on doing that probably this week, or actually I plan on doing that maybe this afternoon and tomorrow, but I have to sit and think about how I want to lay out the pockets. And what I might do, and what I thought about doing, is instead of just folding in half like this one does, I might add a 3rd page to it and make it like a tri-fold. And in that 3rd page, just to make it portable for when you want to go somewhere and stitch on it, I may make that 3rd page with one big vinyl pocket, so that I could, now because this is for my Stitchers Retreat, in that 3rd page I could fold up my piece, put that in the pocket, and then tri-fold it together, and I have everything right here that I need to go to my retreats. The only thing extra I would have to take is if any of my bobbins are low, to take some extra thread to fill them. However, the more sensible thing to do is make sure all your bobbins are full before you go. So this would just be a nice, handy little way to take your piece with you, like to a retreat. And yeah, I'm taking this on Saturday. Will I stitch on this on Saturday? I'm not so sure, because we all know how retreats go. First of all, you probably get very little stitching done because you're all too busy gabbing. And that's quite all right, because that's why we go, to meet up with old friends and make new friends and have a good time. If I do stitch, I'm not so sure I would stitch on this, because it takes a bit more concentration than something easier. So that will be determined at, let's see, today's Wednesday. I have 2 days to decide, but we can manage that. We can manage that. So I think that is all I had to share with you today. As I said, this is a rather short one compared. Usually my Stitch With Me's end up being closer to 45 minutes to an hour. And we will do that either Friday or the beginning of next week, depending on how my next day or two go. we shall see, but you definitely will have another stitch with me soon. So with that, I want to thank everyone for subscribing and for spending time with me. It is a joy to spend time with all of you. I really look forward to doing these on a regular basis, and you'll probably get to see my face a little bit more often these days. I'd like to thank everybody that joined the Facebook group, and hopefully it is going to be a lot of fun there, and people are going to share their stitching and share their methods and share their thoughts, and get to know each other, and it can be a happy place. I will say this: I will not advocate negativity on that group. We are there to be supportive. We are there to encourage. We are there to help people find their way if they choose to stitch diagonally. It is to be a fun place. I am not, and neither is Barb, going to tolerate anyone being negative or putting anyone else down or criticizing. Yes, you can give constructive criticism in, if you try this, maybe that will make something easier for you, or this will help it to look better, or whatever. But I'm not going to tolerate negative criticism of telling people, say, for example, that, oh, well, that's all wrong. That's not the way to do it. Or you need to do it this way because that's the right way. Folks, there's no right way. There's no wrong way. There is only your way. You have to step back and remember, here's your outcome. This is the finished product over here. As with anything, there are many different ways to get to that finish. And there is no right way, and there is no wrong way. There is just your way. And I would like everyone to remember that. You know, that was just to coin an example. Okay, I was an assistant director of nursing, all right, in a long-term care facility. So I had to answer to all the state and federal regulations. And believe you me, there is a ton of them. The last I heard, and before I retired, there are more regulations in long-term care than there are in nuclear energy. You would not believe how thick the books on regulations are. So there was a lot we had an answer to. However, that was the end result. That's what you had to live up to. That's what your outcome had to be. But how you got there was different in every nursing home. I worked in two in my career, in my 25 years as an assistant director. Each nursing home had the same outcome, but each one had a different way of getting there, of finally producing that outcome. Now, there are some things that you had to do the way they had to do because procedurally, medically, that was how you did it. But there are other little things added in of, okay, how do you prevent somebody from falling? Everybody had their own methods of doing that. But the outcome was that person was not going to fall. Okay? Stitching is the same way. The outcome is you're going to have a beautiful finished project. But what you do to get to that finished project is going to be different for each and every one of us. Some people are going to stitch cross country. Some people are going to stitch extreme close country. Some people stitch rotate. Some people will stitch strictly by a column or by a page. I stitch, and the people in the group can stitch however they want. But for the most part, we're stitching on the diagonal. But how we stitch on the diagonal, probably most of us do it a little bit different than the next person. So with all that being said, I want this group to be a happy place. I want this group to share ideas, to have fun, to get to know each other, and remember, there is no wrong way. So with that, my friends, I'm going to do a little stitching, and then I might do a little sewing, and I will be back with you again either later this week or the beginning of next week. So remember, find the joy in your stitching and have a great, great rest of the week. Thanks. Bye-bye.